Hello friends, I welcome you all for this online online session on compulsory English of a BA Part 3. In the last session, we have completed module number 1 Part A, that is the interview skills. We learn different skills that are required to face a successful interview. We also conducted one small test on it, and again we are supposed to arrange one more test on model number 1 part A. So model number 1 part A is a communication skill unit, and today we are supposed to learn model number 1 part B, that is a reading comprehension unit. As I told you, the syllabus is divided into two parts. One is the reading comprehension unit and one is a communication skills. In communication skills, we are supposed to learn communication skills, and in reading comprehension units, prose and poetries are prescribed to you. And here we are supposed to understand a prose or a poetry that will inculcate human values in us. So let us begin with module number 1 part B, that is the interview. Though you may feel that we have already learned the interview skills, and why we are learning again the interview. So this is not the regarding the skills that are required for the facing a successful interview, but this is a small funny writing or abstract by Professor V.V. Jones. So this is a reading comprehension unit, and we are supposed to read it and then try to understand it. So let us begin with this unit, module number 1, part B. Before starting the unit, we should understand that when we are reading a poetry or when we were reading a short story, it is necessary for us to understand who is the author. Because when we understand about the author, we understand his influences, we understand his historical period, we understand his socio-cultural background, we understand his education, and all these components, all these things contribute, influences his writing, his motives. And if we want to understand the more appropriate meaning of the text, it becomes necessary to understand who is the author. Understand what I am saying? I am saying most appropriate meaning. I am not saying absolute meaning. There is no such absolute meaning in literature. We are the readers, and we read literature, and we try to understand the written text. So we also apply several entities. Means we the reader belongs to a specific socio-cultural background. He will understand the thing. The interpretation vary from socio-cultural group, from economics status, you can see. So there are also several things that influences readers reading. So we are here supposed to understand more appropriate meaning uh, of the text that is intended by the author. So now let us begin with this unit, and before reading what is written in this text, the interview, we will read about Professor V.V. Jones. See, who is Professor V.V. Jones? Professor V.V. Jones, an Anglo-Indian writer. Anglo-Indian, you can understand there are two terms, Anglo and Indian. British Indian writer. Completed his MA, that is in English literature, in 1936 from Oxford University, and taught in various universities in Kerala and Odisha for 16 years. So you can understand that he has completed his Master of Arts in English literature in 1936 from a very prestigious university, that is Oxford University. Uh, it is situated in England, especially in London. And after completing his Master of Arts, he again returned to India and taught in various institutes, various universities in Kerala and Odisha for 16 years. So therefore he is called as an Anglo-Indian writer. Anglo-Indian writer or Anglo-Indian literature is also a different or distinct literary category that came under an umbrella term of Indian English literature. So in Indian English literature, we have a separate branch or separate tradition of Anglo-Indian writers. The writers who belongs to British, but they live in India and write about India, or the children who were born from British Indian parents, they were also called as an Anglo-Indian, and they also write about India. So authors belong to British or from a British heritage or from a British socio-cultural background, and he is writing about India is called as an Anglo-Indian writer. So this Professor V.V. Jones, he also worked as a Director of Education, Government of Rajasthan, Vice Chancellor of Jai Narayan Vyas University, Jodhpur, and as a member of a Minorities Commission. So you can understand that he has a very prolific academic administrative career. For 16 years, he has taught in different universities in Kerala and Odisha. And after completing a very successful career in a teaching, he go for an administrative post like a director of education in government of Rajasthan. Then also become a vice chancellor of a Jai Narayan Vyas University, Jodhpur, and also be a member of a minority commission. So he has a very career, prolific academic and administrative career. In 1950, he started his career in journalism and contributed extensively to prominent English newspapers in India before entering into the field of administration. So in 1950, before entering into the administration, he started his career as a journalist and he contributed his writing to the most of the prestigious presses of India. So he becomes a very good journalist, so popular journalist at that period. He was a very successful and effective orator with a marked flair for wit and humor. You can see he is a very effective orator also. He delivered speech in a very effective manner with wit and humor. It is marked in his speeches. So his works, Light Luggage, The Orbiting Professor, and The Great Classroom Hawks are very famous. So there are a few texts that are very famous in India and abroad. So the present extract is taken from Light Luggage. So this abstract is taken from a light. It is not a full text of a Light Luggage, but it is just an abstract from this Light Luggage. It shows how smart candidates sometimes turn the table upon the interviewers. This may happen many times that when the interviewers and the candidate were speaking, many times the questions and answers turn the table upon the interviewers. They ask a cross question or they instead of interviewers, candidate catch these interviewers into a tight corner. So this is what you can see is a text about. So we understand about the author. Author is a very prolific writer, Anglo-Indian, from an Anglo-Indian tradition. He is a journalist. He has built his academic and administrative career, and very illustrative career he has. He is famous for Light Luggage, The Orbiting Professor, and The Great Classroom Hawks. And this text that we are supposed to learn is an abstract taken from Light Luggage. So let us begin this text. As I told you, This is a reading comprehension unit. It is very necessary for us to read the text and try to understand the text. And my appeal will be to you that instead of understanding it in Marathi, understand it in English. Try to understand English, and not only what but how is also important. Means what is written is important, but how it is written is also important. So both these things are important. What is written, that is that we go for a theme or we go for a meaning, and how it is written, that we go for a language. So both these things are important when we were reading this text. In reading comprehension unit, we are supposed to read and comprehend the text, and that is also a very important skill in English, the skill of English language. Many times we lack the reading comprehension skill and face different problems of interpretations. So now let us read the text and try to understand the text, what is it about and how it is written. So his writing is always marked with wit and humor, light humor. So this text is also funny one. You will enjoy this text. It is a abstract about interview. So let us read this and try to understand this. In this session, we will read only 3 paragraphs and try to understand the meaning of it. We will discuss paragraph by paragraph instead of line by line. So let us read this. The candidate was being interviewed for a teaching post in a college. Have you read Aldous Huxley's Authority and Reality? Asked one of the questionnaires. Perhaps you are referring to Authority and the Individuality or Individual by Bernard Russell, sir, countered the candidate. So, this first paragraph is a communication between interviewer and candidate. Interviewer is asking a question, and that is a tricky question. That Aldous Huxley is a Black American author. He is very famous for his Brave New World, and one more text, that is the Roots, he is famous for. He has not written this Authority and Reality. This is just an imaginary question, authority and reality. Or it might happen that interviewer may have committed error. It may be a deliberate, or it may happen with him, but it is error. This question is a wrong one. So interviewer, the candidate is also very attentive one, and as he understand that uh, this Aldous Huxley Authority and Reality, this is a mismatch, this is an error, he counter questions to the interviewers. And what is that? He says that perhaps you are referring to Authority and Individual by the Bernard Russell, sir. So this is a counter question by the candidate. So this also suggests that interviewer has committed a mistake, and the candidate has corrected him. So this is what the table is turned upon the interviewer. So this many times happens with many of the candidates. So if he is a attentive one, and he is quite confident about his subject knowledge. Without a confidence in a subject knowledge, it is impossible for anybody to understand such kind of questions. Many times Indian students, what they do, they generally cook an answer. They don't know about the Aldous Huxley on this Authority and Reality. Even they don't know about the Authority and Individual by Bernard Russell. So then also they try to answer the question. And this in that way they were trapped by the interviewers and rejected eventually. So this is the first paragraph, and in this first paragraph we came across a communication between interviewer and the candidate. Interviewer has asked a wrong question, and interviewer, instead of answering the question, sorry, candidate, instead of answering the question, counter questions to the interviewer. So this is what is happened in a paragraph first. See the next paragraph we will read. Perhaps He was, or maybe To Illusion and Reality by Christopher Caldwell. We shall never know, for it is not one of the episodes that the venerable gentleman is likely to include in his forthcoming reminiscences. Needless to say, the candidate did not get the job, and let that be a warning to young people who presume to be more knowledgeable than the knowledgeable elders on the selection board. A little learning may be dangerous thing. A lot of it could be disastrous. Instead, answer a fool according to his folly. That is the way to land jobs. So this is what a another very funny paragraph. So this is what he illustrate. This is a author who illustrate on this situation, on this incident. So when this incident happens, so author says that perhaps he was he may be thinking about authority and the individual by Bernard Russell instead of Aldous Huxley's authority and reality. So this is what, or he says, author says, or maybe To Illusion and Reality by Christopher Caldwell. Maybe this may be, but we shall never know. We don't know what exactly, whether he has committed the real mistake or whether he has committed it deliberately to trap the candidate, and we never know about that, for it is not one of the episode that the vulnerable gentleman is likely to include in his forthcoming remonstrance. So he is not exploring, or he is not dealing with, or he is not depicting this kind of incident uh, in his remances. So and we never know that what exactly is the situation, whether he is committed a real mistake or whether he has committed uh, the mistake deliberately to trap the candidate. So we don't know that. Needlessly to say, the candidate did not get the job, and as he counter questions to the uh, interviewer, he didn't get the job, and let that be. So author is giving us a warning. So this is a very funny kind of warning. What is the warning? And let that be a warning to young people who presume, the young people who presume to be more knowledgeable than the knowledgeable elders. So this is what many times happens, that ego question is there. Elders always think that they were more knowledgeable than the younger one, and many times younger ones start thinking over smart, overconfident, and they try to cross these egoist elders, and as a result of that, these young men who were confident about their knowledge lose the job opportunity. So therefore he gives us a dictum, that is, a little learning may be dangerous thing, a lot of it could be disastrous. So little learning is a dangerous thing, of course it is, but in this situation you can see a lot of it could be a disaster. Lot of means a knowledge uh, more than the interviewer, that is what is a disaster word. So instead answer a fool according to his folly, that is the way to land jobs. So instead answer a fool according to his folly, म्हणजे मूर्खाला त्याच्या भ्रमामध्येच उत्तर दिलं पाहिजे आणि मग आपल्याला आपोआप जॉब मिळतो. सो दिस इज व्हॉट द situation, and he tried to give us a very practical experience. He give us an advice that we should not counter question to these elder egoist interviewers. They think they were the authority, and they start dictating the things, and they also think that they never commit a mistake. So let them in their own presumptions, let them be in their own folly, and according to their foolishness, we should try to answer his questions, and accordingly we will get the job. So this is the second paragraph. So in the first paragraph, and incidence is given, a communication is given between interviewer and candidate, and in the second paragraph it is explored that how more knowledge uh, than the interviewers is a disastrous in an interview. You should not be over smart in front of these elder interviewers. You should answer according to their folly. So this is what is the message given in the second paragraph. So let's read the third paragraph. I wouldn't altogether blame the selection boards, though. They are expected to assess the comparative suitability of a young man among many young men by talking to him for 15 minutes. Even the gods would not be able to do this without jumping to conclusions. I knew a candidate for employment who, his own wardrobe being merger, borrowed a silk suit for the occasion in order to impress the selection board. He impressed them all right, but not quite the way he intended. For as he left the room after the interview, the chairman of the board turned to his colleagues and observed disdainfully, rather a dandy, I thought. The young man did not get the job. So, this is what the second observation of the author. And what he is saying that many times it happens with us, and it is also very true that how much time these interviewers get to judge you, to judge assess you, only 15 minutes, many times 10 minutes, many times 5 minutes or 4 minutes. So they get that much time to judge you, and it is very uh, difficult to judge a personality uh, of an individual, of an candidate, in such a short time. So therefore he is saying that I wouldn't altogether blame the selection board though. And why he is not blaming to the selection board? Because to judge the judge or compare the suitability of the candidates, they get a very minimum time, that is a 15 minutes. So in 15 minutes it is very difficult for an interviewer to judge the personality, whether he is suitable for the job or not suitable for the job, or compare with other candidates. So this is what is a difficult job of an interviewers. And even he gives us a very funny situation, second situation. See, even the god would not be able to do this without jumping conclusions. So in such a situations, when we get a very minimum time of 15 minutes, we also become a judgmental. So this may happen with us. So there is one more funny situation is given by the author. What is it? I knew a candidate for employment who, his own wardrobe being meager, borrowed a silk suit for the occasion in order to impress the selection board. Many times it happens with us, as we have a very meager uh, clothes. uh, we borrow suit, or we borrow tie, we borrow shoes from the friends for to impress the interviewers. So silk suit for the occasion in order to impress the selection board. So we wear that suit, we wear the tie, we wear the shoes and go to the interview to impress these interviewers. So what happened in that? See, he impressed them all right. These interviewers with his suit, tie and boot impresses him, but not quite the way he intended. But it is seen that he is like a dandy. He is like a dandy. He is not a very serious person. They get an impression that the candidate is a dandy one. He is not a serious one. So this kind of impression he transit to the interview panel when you go with a silk suit and boot and tie. So this may happen to us many times. So as I told you, we get when we are discussing module number 1 part A, interview skills. We understand that they get a very minimum time of 15 minutes, and as they get a minimum time of 15 minutes, you can see they judge you how you came in, how you sit down, how you ask permission, how you speak, uh, how you are, whether you are attentive or not, whether you are staring in their eyes, or how you are communicating, whether you are smiling or not, what kind of dress you have wear. All these things matters much when you go for an interview, when you enter into the interview hall. So this is what is the third paragraph about. In third paragraph we learn that many times it happens with us that we have a meager wardrobe. So as we have a meager clothes, we borrow silk suit from friend to impress the interview panels, and interview panels on the other hand gets the impression that the candidate is a dandy, he is not a very serious one. So this happens many times with us, many times with many candidates. So this is the third paragraph. So in this session we will stop here. We see the author's introduction and first three paragraphs of this uh, lesson. So in the next session we will continue with the same thing. Thank you for listening.